Understand that Mr. Allen would represent you throughout the jury trial. Understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that at trial you'd be presumed innocent. You could not be convicted unless the state was able to prove your guilt to a jury beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Understand that Mr. Allen would have the right to confront and cross-examine each and every witness that testifies against you.
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that you have a right to subpoena your own witnesses to testify on your behalf,
Yes, Your Honor.
to testify in your own defense if you wanted to,
Yes, Your Honor.
but that no one can force you to testify at a trial because you have a right to remain silent at a trial.
Yes, Your Honor.
If you chose not to testify, the jury would be instructed they could not use your silence against you in any manner in their deliberations and in your understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, also understand that if you had a trial and there were any legal errors that occurred during the course of the trial, you have a right to file an appeal for any of those legal errors. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
When you enter a guilty plea, however, as you're about to do, you waive and give up each of the rights I've just gone over.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you understand each of these rights.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about them whatsoever?
No, Your Honor.
Do you wish to voluntarily give up those rights and enter a guilty plea today?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that's a decision that you're making with your own free will, because that's how you decided you want to resolve your case.
Yes, Your Honor.
The feedback, someone will. Where it's coming from. Mr. Allen, have you completed what we call a plea sheet?
Yes, sir, I have now, Bert.
Yes, Mr. Gray, take a look at that document real quick. You recognize it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Allen. So, Mr. Gray, I'm holding up the document that I've just been handed, that you just identified. You do in fact recognize the document.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review it in its entirety with Mr. Allen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this your signature on the back side of the document?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Allen, can you put on the record how you reviewed it with him?
Oh, we had a conversation yesterday on the phone when he was looking at a copy, and I was in my office, and we went through it line item by line item. I explained each item to him. This morning, when he came in, I took that same document, went back over it, and he put his initials on each one of those answers that you see before.
Mr. Gray, is that accurate?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Gray, on the form, next to each of the numbered questions, there's initial CG. Did you place those initials or did Mr. Allen?
I placed it, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Gray, do you have any questions whatsoever about any of the rights or advisements contained in this form?
No, Your Honor.
You understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Allen, do you have any concerns that Mr. Gray does not understand the other rights that he believes he gives up in entering a guilty plea?
No, Your Honor, I think he's totally capable of making this decision.
Mr. Gray, are you presently under the influence of alcohol, drugs, or any other substance?
No, Your Honor.
For any reason, you're supposed to be taking medication.
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you had access to that medication?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you been taking it as prescribed?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you have a treatment provider and you're following their recommendations, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you able to take the medication yesterday?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you take the medication today?
Yes, Your Honor.
You feel all right today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any mental health issues or mental health disabilities?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that why you take the medication?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your mind's clear.
Yes, Your Honor.
And again, your mental health treatment provider, you're following their recommendations as well, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Gray, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Smith, state, what charges is Mr. Gray pleading guilty to there?
There are all 55 charges.
All 55 counts of indictments. Mr. Allen, I'm assuming that you have reviewed the entire indictment with Mr. Gray.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Gray, are you aware of all of the charges in the indictment?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about any of those charges?
No, Your Honor.
This is a 55 count indictment, if I'm not mistaken, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Allen, you've reviewed all 55 charges with Mr. Gray.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Gray, you understand all 55 charges,
Yes, sir.
and you understand that you would be pleading guilty to the entire indictment today, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, as I understand it, I want to discuss the maximum and minimum punishment, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you understand, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, the minimum punishment that you're facing with the charges that you're pleading guilty to is a life sentence that could be parole.
Yes, Your Honor.
The maximum punishment that you're facing is the rest of your life in prison without parole. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, anything you need to add?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Now, this is a non-negotiated guilty plea, is that right?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, make sure you don't mind this. So, Mr. Gray, you understand that with a non-negotiated guilty plea, there's no plea deal. That the state will present a case and make argument for what they think the appropriate sentence is, and Mr. Allen will do the same. Both sides have the opportunity to present witnesses, evidence in aggravation, evidence in mitigation. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that the sentence is solely for you to decide.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that once the sentence is pronounced, you understand that you have no right to withdraw the guilty plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, as I indicated, pleading guilty has to be voluntary on your part. With that in mind, has anyone forced you, threatened you, or coerced you in any manner to get you to plead guilty today?
No, Your Honor.
Have you been promised or offered anything whatsoever that's causing you to plead guilty today?
No, Your Honor.
Have you had sufficient time to discuss the case with Mr. Allen, telling him everything you want him to know about the case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the legal representation and advice you've been given?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Smith, I'm going to make a factual basis for the charges.
Your Honor, as a point of order, the original indictment was under seal. I believe we've given you an order to unseal that. Can I?
I've signed the order. You have the unsealed.
I do, so I will unseal it, Your Honor. Your Honor, counts 1 through 12 go towards the 4 deceased victims. They consist of malice murder in Barrow County on September 4th, 2024, that unlawfully and with malice aforethought caused the death of a human being by shooting them with a firearm. Felony murder in Barrow County on the same date while in the commission of a felony, that felony being aggravated assault, it caused the death of a human being. An aggravated assault in Barrow County on the same date did make an assault upon the person of another with a firearm, a deadly weapon. As to counts 1, 2, and 3, the malice murder, felony murder, and aggravated assault are for the victim of Christian Angulo. Counts 4, 5, and 6, which are the malice murder, felony murder, and aggravated assault for the victim Richard Aspinwall. Counts 7, 8, and 9, the malice murder, felony murder, and aggravated assault for the victim Anna Christina Irami. Counts 10, 11, and 12 for the malice murder, felony murder, and aggravated assault for the victim Mason Schermerhorn. Your Honor, counts 13 and 14 are for the injured adult. That would be David Phoenix, count 13 being aggravated assault in Barrow County on the same date, did make an assault upon the person of another with a firearm, a deadly weapon. An aggravated battery in Barrow County on the same date that maliciously caused bodily harm to David Phoenix by seriously disfiguring his body by shooting him with a firearm. Your Your Honor, counts 15 through 23 are for the children who were injured in the assault. That being the charges being aggravated assault in Barrow County on the same date did make an assault upon the person of another with a firearm, a deadly weapon. Aggravated battery in Barrow County on the same date did maliciously cause bodily harm to another person by seriously disfiguring said person's body by shooting them with a firearm. And cruelty to children in the first degree that in Barrow County on the same date did maliciously cause a child under the age of 18 years cruel and excessive physical and mental pain by shooting them with a firearm. For counts 15, 16, and 17, the aggravated assault, aggravated battery, and cruelty to children in the first degree is for the victim, Melanie DeLira Castaneda. For counts 18, 19, and 20, the aggravated assault, aggravated battery, and cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Natalie Griffith. And for counts 21, 22, and 23, the aggravated assault, aggravated battery, and cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Taylor Jones. Your Honor, the next two counts, 24 and 25, are for the non-injured adults that were in the room 2152 at Apalachee High School that Colt Gray stepped into and fired indiscriminately. First adult victim was Cassandra Ryan, that's count 24, aggravated assault. In Barrow County on the same day, it did make an assault on the person of another with a firearm, a deadly weapon. Count 25 is the victim, Stephen Edwards, aggravated assault. In Barrow County on the same day, it did make an assault on the person of another with a firearm, a deadly weapon. Your Honor, counts 26 through 53 are for the non-injured children who were in room 2152. And those counts consist of aggravated assault that in Barrow County on the same day did make an assault upon the person of another with a firearm, a deadly weapon, and cruelty to children in the first degree that in Barrow County on the same date did maliciously cause a child under the age of 18 years cruel and excessive mental pain by discharging a firearm multiple times inside a classroom occupied by said child. For counts 26 and 27, aggravated assault and cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Landon Adams. For counts 28 and 29, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Jackson Beaver. For counts 30 and 31, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Hayden Bowen. For counts 32 and 33, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Jalen Brady. For counts 34 and 35, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Michaela Brown. For counts 36 and 37, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, William Carricker. For counts 38 and 39, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Marquez Coleman. For counts 40 and 41, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Kendez Lawrence. For counts 42 and 43, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Martin Marino Galdamez. For counts 44 and 45, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Tyler Moon. For counts 46 and 47, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Ariana Norman. For counts 48 and 49, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Brittany Rubio. For counts 50 and 51, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Ronald Vega. And for counts 52 and 53, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the first degree for the victim, Nautica Walton. Your Honor, counts 54 and 55 were for a child that was in the hallway, Zane Zinni. Aggravated assault is count 54 in Barrow County did on the same date make an assault upon the person of Zane Zinni with a firearm, a deadly weapon. And count 55, cruelty to children in the first degree in Barrow County on the same date did maliciously cause a child under 18 years of age cruel and excessive mental pain by pointing a firearm at said child.
And is there anything the state needs to add or would like to add for the factual basis?
There.
Mr. Gray, you heard the factual basis for each count just announced by the state, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you agree that there are facts to support each of the charges against you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you pleading guilty to each of the charges you are in fact guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, is there anything I need to address before accepting the plea? Anything else?
There.
All right. right, Mr. Gray, I will accept the plea. I find there's a factual basis for it. You understand the nature of the charges, the consequences of the plea, the rights you give up when pleading guilty, and you are entering this plea freely and voluntarily.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so as far as proceeding, I believe the state would be able to present any victim impact evidence, any evidence in aggravation, and we'll go from there to defense for any evidence in mitigation. And have the argument, which I realize may be that. Thank you. All right, the guilty plea has been entered on the. You can be seated.
And Your Honor, before we present the victim impact, I'm going to provide you with a stipulation to the admissibility of evidence that we discussed previously. The defense and the state have agreed to the introduction of evidence from the Apalachee school shooting that the court can consider without having to replay the surveillance video for you today. We have placed it on a thumb drive for you.
Mr. Allen, is that accurate?
Yes, Judge, we discussed this. They gave me a list of what the items would be. I have no objections to it.
So the evidence that's addressed in the stipulation is on a thumb drive that I'll have, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, you will have it. It was previously introduced into evidence at State versus Colt Gray, and the court has already seen the evidence. So we're asking you to consider the evidence you've previously seen, and the defense is stipulated to your ability to do that. If you need to review it again, it is on the thumb drive for you to do that.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, we'll start with victim impacts. We're going to call Brianna Skirmerhorn.
Ms. Brooks, you want to pull that microphone down?
Just speaking of that. Your Honor, do you want me to swear her in?
You might as well.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Can you just go ahead and introduce yourself to the court first?
My name is Brianna Skirmerhorn.
And will you go ahead and tell the court what you would like him to know with regard to the sentencing of Colt Gray?
I'm the mother of Mason Alexander Skirmerhorn. Although Mason is no longer here physically, I'm continuing to learn from him. Mason was so much more than a victim. He was a son, brother, grandson, and friend. He was deeply loved. Mason was kind, compassionate, funny, and fiercely protective of others. As a child with exceptional needs, he understood what it felt like to struggle and be overlooked by others. Instead of becoming bitter, he became an advocate, not only for himself, but also for his friends. He made people that were typically unseen feel seen, accepted, and safe. Mason even became friends with children who started out as his bullies. I had no doubt in my mind if Colt had actually attended school, as he should have, that Mason would have befriended him. That is a legacy that he should be remembered for. As much as I have felt that I needed to hold on to the hate that I have felt, I know that I can't. Not only for my own health, but how can I say love like Mason and hold on to that? So I'm choosing to continue to learn from Mason and honor his legacy. I want it to be very clear that I do not forgive Mr. Gray. However, I can acknowledge that there are two truths that can exist at the same time. The first is that the adults in that young man's life failed him. The people who should have protected, guided, recognized the warning signs and intervened when it mattered the most, did not do what they should have done. They failed to give him the support, boundaries, and accountability that every child needs and deserves. That failure is real and it is tragic. I can acknowledge that he was failed without excusing what he did. I can have the compassion for the child that he once was while holding him fully accountable for the choices that he made as a young man. And those things are not mutually exclusive. There's another truth that cannot be ignored. He knew the difference between right and wrong. He knew that bringing a weapon into a school was wrong. He knew that pulling that trigger was wrong. He knew that every choice he made that day would forever alter countless lives. The failures of the adults around him may explain parts of his story, but they do not excuse the decisions that he made. Those decisions were his and his alone, and because of those decisions, my Macy Mace is gone. My family, both biological and chosen, have been forced to endure horrors that no family should ever experience. A member of our family that has been an integral part of our village was who had to identify Mason in the school that day. That is an image that he will carry the rest of his life. He and another family member were in the room when we were told that Mason was gone. I can still remember the silence and the confirming nods by my family when I looked to them in utter disbelief, wishing it was untrue, and the heartbreak on my other children's faces. In that moment, our lives split into two parts, before September 4th and after. In one sentence, our future was stolen. Since Mason's death, I've had the privilege of spending a lot of time with the Angulo family and some of the victims, or actually say, I don't want to say victim survivors. While each of our experiences are different, we are forever connected by the trauma that his choices caused. I have witnessed incredible strength, resilience, and courage in people who were never asked to carry this burden. None of us should know one another because of a school shooting. Yet here we are showing up, loving one another, and trying to rebuild lives that will never be the same. Colt didn't just take Mason's life that day. He took every birthday we would have celebrated, every holiday, every graduation, every milestone, every hug, every conversation, and every dream that he should have had the chance to live. Mason deserved to grow up. He deserved the chance to continue advocating for those that needed a voice. He deserved to become the man, husband, and dad that he was meant to be. Mason deserved a future, and we all deserved a future with Mason in it. And Colt took that from Mason and everyone who loved him. I hope that one day he truly understands the weight of what he chose to do, not because it will bring our loved ones back or erase the damage that he caused, because nothing ever will, but because genuine remorse begins when excuses end. Every morning I wake up to the reality that my son is gone. Every night I go to bed knowing that there is nothing I can do to change it. I have lived 688 days so far of a sentence with no parole, and that is what he should receive as well. Thank you.
We will next have Alana Skirmelhorn, Mason's sister.
Did you have any questions, Mr. Allen?
Not about him, no.
All right, if I forget, you just speak up if you have any questions.
You decide you need to change it, that's okay. Go ahead and raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Yes. Okay. Go ahead and speak into the microphone and introduce yourself to the court.
My name's Alana Skirmelhorn Wallace.
And can you tell the court what you would like him to know in the sentencing of the state of Georgia versus Colt Gray?
Before I talk about what was taken from me, I want to talk about who Mason was. To the court, he may be known as one of the victims of September 4th, but to me, he was my little brother. Out of all my siblings, Mason and I were the closest in age, and because of that, I felt that we shared a bond unlike any other. We grew up together. We understood each other in ways that's hard to explain. He wasn't just my brother, but he's one of my best friends. Some of my favorite memories are simple ones. We spent countless hours playing video games together, whether it was Roblox, Minecraft, Genshin Impact, or whatever game we were obsessed with at the time. We always found a way to have fun together. If one of us couldn't beat a level, complete a quest, or figure something out, then we would jump in and help. We celebrated each other's victories, laughed at our mistakes, and never hesitated to help each other out. Looking back now, I realize the ordinary moments became some of the most meaningful moments I have. Mason had one of the brightest souls I've ever known. He saw the good in people, even when they couldn't see it in themselves. He coached kindness over anger. He believed people deserve second chances, even the people who bullied him. They eventually became his friends because that's just who Mason was. He didn't hold on to hate. He had a way of bringing out the good in others. He never judged people for their disabilities, the way they looked, where they came from, or anything that made them different. He accepted everyone exactly how they were. He treated everyone with the same kindness and respect because that's how he lived. Even during difficult times, Mason seemed to find some light. He had a way of making people smile, making situations feel less heavy, and reminding people around him that things would be okay. That is the person who's taken from us on that day. Not just the name in the courtroom, not just another victim in a headline, a little brother, a best friend, a great, compassionate, and genuinely good person who deserved the chance to keep growing into the incredible man he would have been today. September 4th, 2024 started like any other Wednesday. I actually woke up a little later than usual that morning. Mason and I went to different high schools, so by the time I got out of bed, he had already left for school. I never got to see him that morning or say goodbye like I normally did, which didn't seem like a big deal at the time. Around 10:52 that morning, everything changed. I was a student helper in one of the band classes helping a group of freshmen in a separate practice room when I got a text from my mom saying, "Are you okay? What's going on?" I didn't understand what she meant at the moment, so I ignored it, and I kept helping the students. And then not even a minute later, someone came into the room and said we were going into lockdown. Rumors started spreading almost immediately. Students were shouting things out that they saw online, shooting at Apalachee. There are 5 shooters. Nobody knew what was true, what wasn't. We didn't know how serious it was. We didn't know if the danger was over. We didn't know if anyone had been hurt. We just waited. As the minutes passed, several of the freshmen came up to me because they were scared. They'd heard the attack mainly involved freshmen, and they were worried about their friends at Apalachee. I don't remember every conversation, but I remember one perfectly. One of the students looked at me, and he said that he was scared for his friends. I didn't know students and teachers. He said he was scared for his friends. Trying to confront him, I told him the chances of anyone in this room being directly affected are slim to none. And I believed it when I said it. At that point, I didn't know there were confirmed deaths. I didn't know students and teachers had been shot. I didn't know people were fighting for their lives in hospitals, also trying to calm a frightened freshman who was terrified about people who he cared about. Around that same time, my mom texted me again, "I can't get a hold of your brother on the phone." Even then, I wasn't worried. I told myself Mason probably left his phone in the classroom, in his book bag. I never imagined there would be another reason that he wasn't answering. As the day went on, the room became quieter. The panic settled into silence as people played games while we waited to go home. During this time, my phone never stopped vibrating. Family members, friends, coworkers, everyone kept asking me the same question: has anyone found Mason? But no one could give an answer. At that point, someone from my work group chat sent a video of students being evacuated from Apalachee. And in the background, there's a body covered in the hallway that I later found out was Mason. That was the moment I realized this wasn't just another school lockdown. This was real, and I wanted nothing more to go home. Around 3:13 p.m., 2 minutes before the bell rang, I opened social media just to pass the time while I waited to be dismissed. Instead, I saw my sister's post saying that Mason did not make it into the school life that day. September 4th was not just the day I lost my brother. It was the day I lost the life that I knew before. It was the day my sense of safety, my ability to see the world the same, and the future I imagined with Mason in it were taken from me. The hardest part is that the world kept moving after that day. People went back to school. People went back to work. People continued their normal lives, but my family didn't get to. We didn't get to learn how to live in a world where Mason no longer existed. This experience has changed the way that I have seen safety. Before September 4th, I believed that something like this could never happen to me or someone I loved. Schools where I went to learn, see friends, and make memories, but then it happened to Mason. And every time I walk into a school building, a thought immediately crosses my mind. If it can happen to my brother, then why can't it happen to me? The question is something I never had to ask myself before September 4th. I find myself looking for exits when I enter buildings. I pay attention to the people around me. If someone is walking behind me in a hallway or a staircase, I feel myself wanting to move away or get somewhere safer. Loud noises, unexpected sounds, and certain situations can bring me back to the fear and uncertainty of that day. It's not because I think every place is dangerous. It's because I know that the place where I once felt the safest was the place where I lost my brother. I used to walk into school believing I would leave the same way I came in. Now part of me is always wondering if I will. The impact of this day did not only change the way I felt when I walked into school building, it also changed the way I was able to function as a student. After losing Mason, I was trying to balance two realities at the same time. I was expected to be a full-time student in college, completing assignments and preparing for my future while also trying to grieve and process everything that had happened. During this time, I had to miss a lot of school because of court proceedings and everything that came with seeking justice for Mason. I wasn't missing classes because I didn't care about my education. I was missing them because I was dealing with something no student should ever have to experience. And what hurt was that I had to provide proof of what happened in order for my situation to be understood. I had to provide my brother's death certificate to my school for my absences to be excused. Having to prove my grief was another painful reminder of what happened. I wasn't asking for special treatment. I was asking for understanding. Being in court for college trial wasn't just difficult because I had to hear what happened, but it was also difficult because I saw things I shouldn't have. Throughout the case, I was exposed to multiple photographs, evidence, and video from the shooting. The close-ups of the bodies, the autopsy reports, and even the video of my brother's final moments. This isn't something that I can just forget. I replay the video in my head all the time. I replay the video in my head all the time. The way you shot my brother twice, you saw him scared and running, and then you proceeded to shoot him in the head, killing him instantly. You saw how scared he was. You saw how he was trying to run. But all you cared about was murdering innocent people. All you cared about was murdering innocent people because you want to be like your twisted-minded idol. But of course, the twisted-minded stuff doesn't end there. Because of the people on social media purposely finding my accounts, my videos talking about my brother, saying that he should have dodged the bullet or that he deserved what happened to him. I want you to understand something. What you did not end on September 4th, 2024. You may have pulled the trigger that day, but the pain you have caused has continued every single day since. You didn't just take my little brother from me. You took away him from my parents, my siblings, his classmates, his teachers, and everyone who loved him. You took away a future that Mason deserved to have, and I'm angry that you did that. I'm angry that I had to sit in the classroom comforting scared freshmen while not knowing you had already ended my brother's life. I'm angry that I had to walk into my own home knowing Mason would never walk through that door again. I'm angry that I had to see evidence from the worst day of my life and carry memories that nobody should ever have. I'm angry because none of this should ever happen. But I'm also angry at how cowardly you are. You sat there and you planned everything that you were going to do that day. You sat there and wrote down the amount of fatalities you wanted. You made sure that you packed everything that morning so you'd be ready. And then you sat in that stall preparing for what you were about to do. Instead of going through with this plan, no. Instead of going through with this plan, I honestly think he should have killed himself. Instead of killing 4 people and injuring others, he should have taken himself out. Instead of coming up with this whole elaborate plan, he should have made a plan to off himself instead. I'm not saying this just because he took Mason from me. I'm saying this because if he had this sick and evil thought to be like that other worthless school shooter and inflict pain on a whole community, he doesn't deserve to be here. You had time before you left school that morning to change your mind. You had time in your first period class to change your mind. You had time while you were in that bathroom to change your mind, but you didn't. Instead, you went through with your plan. And not only that, but as soon as you were caught, you surrendered. You can willingly shoot all these people. It didn't feel an ounce of remorse, but as soon as a gun is pointed towards you, you get scared because you're the definition of a coward. You didn't feel remorse after shooting into that classroom. You didn't feel remorse after you shot those teachers, and you definitely didn't feel remorse after you shot my brother in the head. You didn't feel remorse after you watched my brother collapse and bleed out in front of you. He should have killed himself. Because him being gone would have saved this whole community from experiencing the unimaginable, and then maybe his life would have actually meant something. You will always be remembered as a coward, a psychopath, a freak, because of what you decided to do. But the victims, Christina Irmi, Richard Astenwall, Christian Angulo, and Mason Skirmerhorn, will be remembered because of the people they were. They will be remembered because of their kindness and positivity they added to the world. They deserve to be here today. Mason deserves to be here today. Mason was kind when he didn't have to be. He saw the good in people when others didn't. He turned people who hurt him into friends. He never judged anyone for how they looked, what challenges they faced, or what made them different. You took away someone who chose kindness every day. You took away someone who still had so much life ahead of him. You took away the chance for me to see who my little brother would become. And that is something I can never get back. You will soon face the consequences of what you did, but my family will spend the rest of our lives facing the consequences of what you took from us. The difference is that you made a choice that day, but we did not choose this.
No. Where's Marie first?
Yes.
Usually when you visit this,
Feedback before calling the next witness.
go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. Liliana Ahmed is another sister of Mason. And if you could raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes. Okay. And if you could just introduce yourself to the court.
My name is Liliana Ahmed. I am the oldest sister of Mason Schermerhorn.
And you can go ahead and tell the court what you would like him to know in regards to the sentencing of Colt Gray.
Thank you to all our super fans for your Cash App and Super Chat support. We salute you.
Possible. That day is unfortunately a day that is branded into my brain. It was a Wednesday. I was at work. It was a normal day. Started off good even. At 11:25 a.m., I got a text message from one of my close friends asking if I heard about the school shooting at Apalachee.
You're watching at Southern Sin, your new home for true crime. Smash that like button now. We'll be right back.
I graduated from Apalachee when the school body was barely 1,200 kids. We always poked fun about how boring and rural our school was. There was no way this could be real. My first instinct was to call my mom. I thought surely if Mason was scared, he already called my mom and told her he was fine. Of course, it's no surprise to you that Mason was not okay. I lost it. I had my first ever panic attack. I stayed at work fighting the thought that my brother was dead. There's no way that this could happen to me. By 2 p.m., there was still no update on Mason. No one could find him. I felt hopeless, so I posted a picture on social media begging people to message me if they saw him. He used to run away when he got really emotionally overwhelmed. And I was praying that this was still true in this instance. Praying that he was scared and hiding somewhere. From my car, I frantically called every single emergency room in Atlanta, Gwinnett, Barrow, and Clark Oconee counties to see if anyone had a John Doe that fit his description. No success. At this point, I was at home because I was holding out hope that Mason was okay. My mom even asked me, when we find Mason, can we have a sleepover? Mason had to be okay. I will never forget the exact moment I found out Mason was dead. The exact moment that I found out you killed him. The hour-long drive to Winder was the quietest car ride I have ever had with my husband. The only thing I could manage to mutter was my baby brother, over and over again, like my brain was rejecting the thought of him being gone. We arrived at my parents' house, a place that used to hold nothing more than laughs, happy memories, and petty sibling arguments. turned into a place that sends my nervous system into absolute disarray. From that point to about 6 months following, everything is a blur. As you can imagine, I have had a lot of time to reflect on how the past 688 days have impacted my life. Since I was 7, almost 8 years old, a large part of my identity has been being a big sister. I'm the oldest of 4, and there's a significant age gap between me and my siblings. Being the oldest sibling and oldest daughter has shaped me in more ways than I can express, especially being a big sister to siblings with special needs. One of the ways that has shaped me has been my ability to look beyond a person's behaviors and search for the why. There's always so much more to a person's actions besides what we see at face value. This ability has led me to be naturally forgiving and compassionate. I've even dedicated my professional career to this ability my siblings have fostered in me. Whenever I come across a child that is met with any circumstance out of their control, whether it be a diagnosis or environment, I can't help but feel compassion. Admittedly, I feel compassion for Colt, and I hate that. He is a product of 2 people that did not deserve the privilege of bringing life into this world. His actions are a testament to that. He's broken. He made so many cries for help that were met with little to no action. He grew up around so much turmoil. He saw and experienced things that no child should even be able to imagine. He could have rebounded from all that. Instead, he decided to allow my baby brother to pay for the pain others caused him. He still had the ability to be resilient, but he chose to doom himself. He is ultimately a failure. Despite the little bit of compassion I do feel for him, being in the same room as him disgusts me. I know much is not known about Mason, so I would like to take some time to tell you all about him. Mason is a success story that Colt could have been. He struggled a lot in school. He had big emotions that he didn't know how to regulate. He was bullied. He had a cocktail of mental diagnoses from a young age. He had the ability to turn into Colt, but he didn't. He even spent the summer before his freshman year of high school being tutored through algebra because he was that determined to succeed. Teachers and students across all the schools Mason went to talk about how big of a heart he has, how he is so sweet, the kind of sweetness you don't expect from a 14-year-old boy. He spent most of his school years in more contained classrooms, but he had friends in special education and general education classes. He didn't care what someone looked like, what disability they did or didn't have. He was going to be friends with them, and he could have been he was friend to so many, and he could have been friend to one more had Colt not robbed himself of that. Mason would have loved him. My mom would have taken him in. My family's house could have been a haven for him, but he robbed himself of that. Not only did he rob himself of Mason, or rob himself of that experience, but he also robbed Mason. From a very young age, Mason wanted to be a family man. He wanted to have a wife, kids. He wanted to go to school and pursue a career. He even asked questions about God. All of these different parts of himself he didn't get to explore because of Colt, because of his pain. Because of him, my little brother Gavin has to grow up without his best friend. Because of him, my little sister Alana has to grow up without her best friend. Because of him, my mom has to live with 1/4 of her missing. Because of him, I have to live without the little boy that gave me so much purpose from such a young age. Because of him, laughing or having a good day feels like betrayal, because I feel like I shouldn't experience those things with my brother gone. Because of him, I get a pit in my stomach anytime I look at pictures of Mason. Because I know that's the only way I can see him now. And because of him, large crowds and gatherings make me anxious. Because of him, I'm forced to write in a journal when I want to talk to Mason because I don't want to miss any details for when I see him again. Because of him, my brother died alone and scared. He was the last person to see Mason alive, and he took him from us. All of this because people hurt him, and he felt like others needed to atone for it. All for what? Just to become another statistic. He has quite literally reduced his life to his failures and shortcomings. He could have made something of himself. He could have had a friend in Mason to lift him up. Instead, he made himself nothing more than another data point. I hope he lives with that for the rest of his life. I hope he remembers that he is insignificant. Despite him stealing the lives and innocence of so many people, their endings and this pain he caused will not define them. They will define him, however, and he will be forgotten. I hope he remembers that he did this to himself. I hope he remembers that any regret or remorse he feels is a privilege compared to the death sentence he gave my brother. I don't care what his sentence is, and I don't care what happens to him. It won't measure up to the sentence he gave my family. He stole my baby brother from me, and I don't forgive him. I hope the rest of his days are filled with remembering just how much of a waste he is.
All right, next we have Shayna Aspinwall, Richard Aspinwall's wife. Can you please raise your right hand? You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Yes. And go ahead and introduce yourself to the court and then tell him what you would like him to know in the sentencing of Mr. Colt Gray.
My name is Shayna Aspinwall. I am the wife of Ricky Aspinwall, who was murdered in the Apalachee High School shooting on September 4th.
You can go ahead.
Okay. No words can fully express what was taken from me and our family and everyone who loved my husband. On the morning of September 4th, he left for work. We expected him to come home, just as he always had. Instead, our lives were changed forever. My husband was more than a victim. He was my partner, my best friend, and the person I planned to grow old with. He was a loving husband, a devoted father, a teacher, a coach, an uncle, a son, a brother, and a friend. He brought kindness, laughter, and strength into our lives, and his absence is felt every single day. The grief of losing him is constant. There is an empty chair at our table, silence where his voice used to be, and countless moments when I instinctively reach for him only to remember he's gone. Every holiday, birthday, anniversary, and ordinary day is a reminder of what has been stolen from us. Our family has had to face not only overwhelming emotional pain, but also the practical realities of moving forward without him. The future we planned together no longer exists. The dreams we shared ended the moment his life was taken. Now, our daughters, who were 5 and 2 at the time, must grow up without their father. They will miss his guidance, his encouragement, his hugs, and all the milestones he should have been here to witness. Birthdays, graduations, weddings, and the everyday moments that make up a lifetime will forever be marked by his absence. No sentence the court imposes can bring my husband back. Nothing can restore the life he should have lived or the years he should have shared. But I ask the court to recognize the profound and permanent harm this crime has caused. The loss extends far beyond one day. It is a life sentence of grief and trauma for those left behind. I ask that Ricky's killer is not given an opportunity for parole. The trauma it would continue to bring me and my daughters, knowing that there is a chance, even a small chance, that he would get out of prison, would be continued torture for my family. We've already been through enough without having more fear in the back of our minds. Once I die, my daughters will then have to suffer through parole hearings alone. I think that everyone would agree that facing it alone is a burden that they should never have to bear. In closing, I hope my husband's life is remembered, not for the violence that ended it, but for the love, compassion, and dedication he showed to his family, his students, and colleagues, and everyone fortunate enough to know him. That is certainly what his family and friends remember about him. And until I take my last breath on this earth, I will always remind my daughters of what a special person he was. Thank you.
All right. Next, we have Ismail Angulo Jr. He is Christian's brother. Go ahead and raise your hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Go ahead and introduce yourself to the court, and then you can go ahead and tell
My name
me.
is Ismael Angulo Jr. I am the oldest sibling of Crisia. Your Honor, I am writing this statement to share the devastating reality of what was taken from my family and to ask this court to deliver the absolute maximum sentence allowed by law. The impact my brother's loss continues to have on my family is something I wish on no one. Every day is a nightmare that we have to wake up to remind ourselves of our new reality. A very painful one. The days my nephew comes up to me and tells me he misses Titian breaks my heart. I have no words that I can tell him, so I just hug him tight. My little brother, Christian Gabriel Angulo, was only 14 years old. He was the best uncle, the best brother anyone could have asked for, and a great son to my parents. The defendant's family will still get to see their son, talk to him, and know he is breathing. My mother, my father don't get that privilege. The only way to visit Christian now is by standing over his grave. There is no fairness in that reality. Christian was a beautiful, innocent soul who was robbed of his dreams and has so much ahead of him. Because of this defendant's choices, Christian will never get another chance at a life. I carry so much pain from that day, knowing that this coward's violent acts shattered thousands of lives in a single instant. I know the death penalty is off the table because of the defendant's age, but if his age is being considered, I want to ask, does Mason Skirmerhorn get a second chance when he was only 14 years old, robbed of his dreams, stolen far too soon, before he even had a chance to grow up? Does Coach Richard Aspinwall get a second chance to be with his wife and be a father to his young daughters? Or will he miss the rest of their lives because this coward took his life? Does Miss Christina Ermy get another opportunity to live, teach, and be with her husband? Do all 9 of the people who were injured that day get to live without the physical and emotional scars forced upon them? Does my little brother Christian get another chance to live another day? No, they don't. They will never get to experience the beautiful or painful moments that life has to offer because this defendant deliberately took those chances away from them. The defendant showed no mercy when he stole their futures, and therefore he should not receive the grace of a second chance. While the law spares him from the ultimate penalty due to his age, it does not require this court to ever grant him freedom again. For Christian, for Mason, for Coach Aspinwall, for Ms. Ermy, and for every person injured and broken by his actions, I ask that you sentence this defendant to life in prison without the possibility of parole and ensure he never has the opportunity to walk free or inflict this unbearable pain on another family ever again. Thank you, Your Honor, for hearing my voice and honoring the memory of my brother. Forever my brother, long live Christian. Thank you.
Do you have questions, Mr. Allen?
No.
And Your Honor, I believe the next several are going to be juveniles, so just for the court's knowledge and for the media's knowledge of not photographing their faces.
All right, the media should be aware that you cannot photograph, disseminate, or broadcast any cases of the juveniles who testify next or any point in this proceeding.
Thank you, Your Honor. So we call Taylor Jones. Go ahead and raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and speak into the microphone and introduce yourself to the court.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Taylor Jones, and I'm a student at Apalachee High School.
And go ahead and tell him what you would like him to know in the sentencing of Mr. Colt Gray.
On September 4th, 2024, I was really scared and confused because I saw a Colt standing in the doorway with the gun. After I heard the first gunshot, I saw my teacher jump onto the floor, so I did too. And a few seconds later, I had realized I had been shot, and I immediately turned to my friend Landon, asking him to hold my hand. After the gunshot stopped, my friend came over to me, helping me in any way they could. I remember telling my friends to call my brother to let him know that I had been shot and I didn't know if I was going to make it. Right after that, I started having trouble staying awake. My friends were sitting with me, doing anything they could to help me stay awake. The next thing I remember is waking up in the helicopter. I was very terrified and I started asking them to take me to the hospital. Once I got to Grady, I started having trouble staying awake again. When we landed, there were lots of doctors surrounding me. My memories after landing at Grady are not good, but I would be in and out of the hospital for 3 or 4 months. I required life-saving surgery and many more surgeries after that. I was in lots of pain, on many medications, and I was told that I might not be able to walk again. About a year later, I was able to walk again with support, and soon after that, I started walking on my own. As you all may know, not only did his actions affect me and my family that day, but it infected the entire Apalachee community. Although Colt's actions hurt me, I refused to give up. Every day I continued telling myself that I am strong and I am brave. After the shooting, I struggled with so much anxiety, and I felt like my life was completely over. I couldn't do anything a normal 14-year-old should be able to do. I wasn't able to go to school, so I switched to homebound where I met my teacher, Miss Harrington. She was the only person from the school to call and check up on me, the only one that came out to the hospital to see me and make sure that I was doing okay. Moving on from this experience is very hard, and if I hadn't met some of the people that supported me along the way, I don't know where I would be. I've been going to physical therapy for almost 2 years now, and my therapist Jess has always made sure that I was okay and always comforted me when I was having rough days. This experience has been one of the hardest things anyone could go through, but I've learned so much from it. I hope my story makes Colt realize the horrible things that he has done and all the pain and suffering that he has caused. I hope my story brings light into someone else's story that's also gone through the same thing I've gone through and reminds them that they are not alone. A just outcome will help me finally begin to heal in peace. I hope that Colt is sentenced to life in prison without the chance of parole. Thank you.
Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Why don't we go ahead and take about a 10-minute recess, restroom and such. All right, we recess for about 10 minutes.
I knew both boys since elementary school. I never expected them to not be here. Every day since the shooting, I thought about what I would say to him. Every day I thought about if I had more time to speak to him on that day of the shooting, what would I have said? So I'd like to be able to do that now. I hate you and I'm mad at you because you had options. You had other options.
Thank you for subscribing to At Southern Sin. Keep our algorithm high by hitting the like button now and use hashtag sinners in the chat to win a free membership.
I would have been your friend, and I know a bunch more people would have if you had just waited. I think you're entitled for
also for doing the things that you have done. And I hope that every single day you think about the other options you could have had. I hope that 10 years from now you think, hey, I did this thing, not that was so stupid. And I hope that you realize something that you did when you were 14 is going to impact you for the rest of your life. When you could have gone on and lived a good life. The shooting took much more than the use of my hand. It took my sense of safety, my independence, my trust, and a part of the person I used to be. While I survived, I carry the impact of that day with me for the rest of my life. It only seems fair that every innocent person that has had to feel the impact of Colt Gray's choices for the rest of our lives, then he should receive the maximum sentence for his crimes. Okay, have a great day.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make the word that it's hard. Your Honor, next we have Monica Walton. All right, go ahead and raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
Go ahead and introduce yourself to the court.
Hi, my name is Monica Walton.
And you can go ahead and tell the court what you would like him to know in regards to the sentencing of Colt Gray.
The past couple of years since September 4th have been the hardest years of my life. About once a week, I find myself thinking about what would it feel like to be normal again. I think about my freshman year, but not with happiness, with anger, confusion, and sadness. For a long time, I was angry at the world because of what you chose to do. At some point, I became afraid of everything. I hated the dark because it reminded me of when the lights went out and all we saw was emergency lights. I hated sitting faced away from the door. I hate the thought of walking to second period by myself. Over time, the fear turned into something even worse. I started to hate myself because I couldn't truly live anymore. I felt guilty because I let you take every piece of joy I had away from me. I let you steal my happiness, not only from me, but the people that loved me and my friends. I hated everything about you. I hate the scars you left on my body. I hate that you took innocent lives in front of innocent people. Most of all, I hate that I let you live in my mind rent free. Every time I closed my eyes, all I could hear were screams and cries. But after a while, something changed. It slowly turned into courage. Even though I'm scared to stand here today and speak in front of the courtroom, I refuse to let you win this time. I refuse to let you see me the way you saw me September 4th. I refuse to let you believe that you have control over me or control over my classmates. Most of the hate's gone, but all the scars are still there, all the triggers are there, all the emotions are still there. Those things are never completely going to disappear. You took away the innocence of so many kids in that classroom that day just because of what you were going through. That's something that we will never get back. What you cannot take away from me is the person I am choosing to become. I'm still here, I'm healing, and I'm finding my strength again. Every day that I continue to move forward, I'm showing you that you did not destroy me. You changed my life forever, but you will not define the rest of it.
Thank you.
No, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, next, we're going to call Hayden Brown to give her victim impact statement. Hayden Bowen. That's where you're supposed to go. Go ahead and raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the court.
Good morning, I'm Hayden Bowen.
Okay. And go ahead and tell the court what you would like him to know about the sentencing of Colt Gray. Just like, I need some hurry before you, okay?
First, I want to start off by saying that I forgive you.
Hayden, can you speak up a little?
You need to address the court.
I want to start off by saying that I forgive you. Not for you, but for me and my peace. What you went through at the hands of your parents was not okay. And I don't wish that thing, but it does not excuse what you did. It was not right. It completely changed my life. It disrupted not only me, but my family and our lives. My family is often anxious about me and constantly checking up on me because of how much it affected my life. I now live with fear looking behind me everywhere I go. Everywhere. I have frequent panic attacks. I can't stay in places for too long. I can't go out anywhere. I can't even stay in my own bedroom without feeling fear. I'm not able to be a normal teenager anymore. Before all of this, my biggest concern was who was going to walk me to class. But now I can't go a second without having to think whether or not I'm going to be safe while trying to learn. Of course, I'm so angry. But I know my God, and evil never wins.
Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Our next victim impact statement is from Ariana Norman. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Go ahead and introduce yourself to the court.
Your Honor, my name is Ariana Norman.
And you can go ahead and tell him what you would like him to know about the sentencing hearing for Colt Gray.
Your Honor, thank you for the opportunity to be able to speak today and share how September 4th has impacted me. My name is Ariana Norman, and I'm giving this statement regarding Colt Gray. September 4th is a day I will never look at the same again. It was a day where many people experienced chaos, high anxiety, and tragedy. September 4th was a day I should never have had to witness, and it has affected me and the Vero County community deeply. This shooting has deeply affected my mental health. Since the September 4th shooting, I have been prescribed medication for anxiety because of my constant worry that something bad would happen again. I would often, after the shooting, wake up from nightmares and have to get help just to go back to sleep. Sometimes even just walking around my neighborhood months after the shooting, I found myself feeling like passing cars would harm me. Because of this, I no longer feel safe in my halls, which makes it hard to learn because I feel like I'm constantly looking over my shoulder, just waiting for something bad to happen. And any sort of loud noise always alerts me because I feel like something bad is going to happen. For example, I don't hear fireworks the same again because to me, they sound like gunshots. And when it's far away, it can be hard to tell the difference, which always gives me anxiety. And now I feel the need to identify an escape route everywhere I go because I get scared that I'm going to be trapped like I was on September 4th. The people at Apalachee could have been friends with Colt, but he decided to take a different route. And for this, he deserves whatever punishment he is given. Thank you for listening.
Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
The next, Ms. Alex Daniel from our office is going to read some victim impact statements that were written.
Judge, I believe I have two written statements. The first is from Michaela Brown. She was one of the students that was in the classroom that day. Her statement says, "The Apalachee High School shooting on September 4th, 2025 was a tragic and terrifying event that has affected not only the people directly involved, but also students everywhere. Knowing that something like this can happen at a school makes me feel very unsafe and anxious. Since being involved with the shooting, I've felt scared to even go in the dark to take my dogs out to use the bathroom. Loud noises like doors slamming hard make me jump because they remind me what could happen. It's hard to feel relaxed or normal when things like that are always in the back of my mind. I also get nervous being home alone because I'm thinking someone's going to break in and hurt me. I don't feel as safe as I used to before. I used to think Apalachee was going to be a safe place for me to learn and graduate and make new friends, but now I just go to school thinking I'm not safe here. This situation shows how deeply events like this can impact students mentally and emotionally. It's not just something that happens and goes away, it stays with people. Schools are supposed to be safe places, and when that safety is broken, it changes how we feel every day." And Judge, the second statement is on behalf of Jackson Beaver, who was one of the individuals, one of the children that was injured in the classroom. It was prepared on behalf of him and his family, I believe prepared by his mother, Sarah Beaver. It says, "Your Honor, I have struggled to find the words for today because there are no words that can fully explain what September 4th, 2024 took from so many people. I stand before you as the mother of a child who survived that day, but surviving is not the same as being untouched by it. As I prepared this statement, I found myself wrestling with emotions I never imagined I could hold at the same time. Part of me looks at the defendant and sees a 14-year-old boy. I see a child who somewhere along the way was failed by the very people and systems that were supposed to protect him. I see a child who deserved safety, love, guidance, and intervention long before violence became part of his story. I grieve for the innocence that was stolen from him before he ever walked into Apalachee High School. But another part of me sees the person who made a choice that forever changed hundreds of lives. I hate that he lost his childhood, but I hate even more that he believed it was his place to steal the childhoods of the others. He didn't just take lives. He took futures, he took peace, he took the feeling every parent has when they watch their child walk into school, believing that they will come home that afternoon. Today, I want this court to remember the names of the people whose lives were forever changed. Mason, Christian, Richard, Christina. They were not victims on a page. They were sons, daughters, teachers, friends, classmates, and loved ones. They should be remembered for the lives they lived, not simply for the ways they died. I also want this court to remember Natalie, Melanie, Taylor, Jackson, and every other student and teacher who survived physically, but continue to carry invisible wounds. Remember the ones who have scars that they see every day and have flashbacks to the horror that they endured. Some injuries heal, others become part of you forever. The weapon used to cause all this destruction didn't just pierce Jackson's skin, it stayed there. 8 to 9 pieces of metal are permanently embedded in his thigh. He is forced to carry the literal weight of a mass shooting inside his own flesh every single day. The defendant's childhood may explain how we arrived here, but it does not excuse where we ended up. Because while he may have been failed by adults, he became the reason innocent children lost their sense of safety forever. Parents like me now understand what it feels like to wait for a phone call that may never come. Children now know what gunfire sounds like inside their school. Families now live with empty chairs, unanswered questions, nightmares, anniversaries, and grief that will never fully disappear. There's another loss that is harder to describe. Before September 4th, 2024, I believed schools were safe places. I believed that if I hugged my child goodbye in the morning, I would see him that afternoon. I believe tragedies like this happen somewhere else, and that version of me no longer exists. The defendant did not only change the lives of the people inside the walls that day, he changed every parent who sent a child to school afterward, wondering if today would be the day their world falls apart. I have compassion for the child he once was. I have compassion for the life he should have had. But my compassion cannot outweigh the devastation left behind by the choices he made. Two things can be true at the same time. He was a child who was failed. He was also the person who failed countless innocent children and their families. And one tragedy does not erase another. Nothing this court does today can bring back Mason, Christian, Richard, or Christina. Nothing can erase the trauma carried by Natalie, Melanie, Taylor, Jackson, the other survivors, their families, or this community. Justice cannot change the past, but it can acknowledge the weight of what was taken. I ask this court to remember every name, every family, every empty seat, every scar that cannot be seen, and every life that will forever be measured as before September 4th, 2024, and after September 4th of 2024. That is the true impact of what happened. Thank you.
And Your Honor, that concludes our victim impact at this time. We would like to take a short break before we begin presentation of further evidence.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, my understanding is going to move on to additional witnesses, non-victim impact testimony. We need to take a break. Their audio visual stuff, we make sure it's working. So we'll be in recess. Don't expect it to be too long. You can plug into the TV. All right, we'll be in recess.
Looking for more exclusive, thrilling true crime episodes? You can now catch them on our Patreon at Southern Sin.
Court is on a short break. Don't go anywhere. The action will be right back on at Southern Sin.
Are incredible humans who have scars both external and internal that should not exist. We admire their bravery and resilience, and for the turmoil and pain caused by Colt Gray, he deserves the harshest consequences. What also must be addressed today are the mental and emotional burdens and anguish that thousands of students, staff, and families of the Apalachee community will carry for the rest of their lives, some of which may never fully heal. The trauma thrust on this once rural hometown is unnatural. The reckless and selfish choices of Colt Gray deserve the harshest consequences. There is no measurement for the deaths and physical impact caused by his calculated decisions, and the overall impact, both visible and invisible, of the September 4th tragedy stretches to countless victims. There were nearly 1,900 students and 200 staff members making up this remarkable community in 2024. There were 20 schools and programs in the Barrow County school system who locked down for hours, fearing the unknown and the worst. There were surrounding school districts, counties hundreds of miles away, and an entire state of Georgia. All were impacted directly or indirectly by the deranged behavior of one teenage intruder. The act destroyed a learning community that will take years to reconstruct, if even possible, and who knows what could have been without the time, energy, new personnel, and resources expended daily just to make it possible for students and faculty to be able to teach and learn. Schools should be a safe environment for young people to grow and experience joy. In less than a minute, he took a basic human right from thousands of innocent students, and he turned staff members into impromptu paramedics and caregivers. He destroyed what once felt like the most safe and secure place. He stole the ability to focus and not zone out. He turned conversations about where should we eat after the football game into is it even safe enough to be on that campus at all. He ripped a community of its pride. Now a balloon pop is triggering, an accidental lockdown sends hundreds running, absolutely scared to death, scared of death. Procedures drastically changed across an entire state. Small children are screened for weapons before running to hug their favorite teachers and starting their reading and math lessons. When the light flickers, panic sets in. Loud noises and unknowns cause paranoia. One moment can ruin essential academic lessons for the rest of the day. Entire family traditions and holidays are put on hold. Couples divorce. Others need new medication just to stay calm enough to attempt to work or care for their own children. Events are missed, loneliness creeps in because no one understands, and friendships fade because humans become shells. The students of Apalachee High School had to grow up and mature in a single inhumane instant. Some threw desks to block doors, others applied pressure to wounds. Later, all but two evacuated with their hands above their heads, while 6 left on stretchers, and the survivors learned immediately how to console each other. They then experienced grief, faced deep fears, and became resilient. Still, on any good days, there is a heaviness, a weight that is carried daily, and every decision is made through the lens of trauma and recovery. An attempt at the new normal is exhausting, and for some, it has been too hard to endure. Many have changed their entire surroundings, lifestyles, or careers just to keep going. A facility was built as direct support, and a facility sits unused to avoid trauma. The ripple effects we felt for generations, and all because a stranger among us took what did not belong to him. As my staff and students soon prepare for the 2-year mark, we will persevere through safety drills, new bell schedules, and uncertainty. We will continue to rebuild. The work is ongoing and never finished. We will pour into our students, comfort them, and create experiences that we hope bring some joy. But it will never be the same. He's a thief, and more than that, he is also a murderer. The most important pieces he stole from our community are Coach Aspinwall, Miss Irmy, Mason, and Christian. We are not whole without them, and we will always honor them in everything we do, while grieving for their families and what they would have continued to contribute to our school and many other lives. We have more to teach them and more to learn from them. They had more memories to make with their precious families and more days to make our world brighter. We carry their legacy forward daily, even through dark times, and I ask their murderer be placed where he may feel the depths of what he's done.
Thank you. Do you have any questions, Mr. Allen?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you can call Investigator Smith.
Your Honor, this time we call Investigator Jason Smith. Go ahead and raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Go ahead and have a seat and introduce yourself to the court.
My name is Jason Smith, and I'm an investigator with the Barrow County Sheriff's Office.
And how long have you been with Barrow County Sheriff's Office?
Approximately 13 years, or correction, 16 years.
How long have you been with the Investigations Division?
Almost 12 years now.
What part of that division are you in?
So I'm assigned to our Persons Crimes Bureau.
Okay, and were you in that same role in September of 2024?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
Were you the lead investigator for the Apalachee school shooting back on September 4th of 2024?
Yes, ma'am.
And before we get into your specific involvement, I'd like you to just take us briefly through what happened that day leading up to when Mr. Colt Gray was arrested. Okay.
Let me get you to hang on for just a second. Is everything okay?
I have to stand by this right now. If you don't mind, I appreciate it. Sorry about that.
Sorry. Thank you, Brooks.
And I'm going to have you use this map to do that. Can you just kind of look at it and identify it for us?
Yes, ma'am. This is a, you have a pointer? Do you like me to use? Don't see one.
For a second, laser. Here you go. Okay, and then is this the
Yes, ma'am.
partial Apalachee school map?
It is. So this area right here, this is what is referred to as J Hall inside the school. The adjoining halls are I Hall, which is located right here. And then you have K Hall, which is right here.
Okay, and is that a fair and accurate representation of that part of Apalachee High School?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Your Honor, this time I did introduce an evidence case to 344, which is the partial map of Apalachee High School.
Mr. Allen?
No objection, Your Honor.
It's admitted.
Okay. Can you show us on that map where the defendant's second period class was?
Yes, ma'am. The Colt Gray's second period class is located right here. This is Mrs. Catherine Greer's classroom, and it's designated by classroom number 2.151.
Okay. And while he was in that class, what did he do?
So that morning, on the video surveillance footage, you can see Colt come inside the classroom. He opens up his notebook. He stays in the classroom until approximately second period at Apalachee starts at 9:45 in the morning. So at approximately 9:54 hours, Colt Gray tells his teacher that he is going to go see a crisis counselor, at which time he exits his classroom, but does not go to the counselor's office. And instead, he makes his way down J Hall to the student bathroom located right here. And those are designated by the number 2.148.
And what did he do in that bathroom?
So in that bathroom, Colt Gray remains in a stall inside the bathroom, preparing for what he is about to do. He ultimately is seen on the video surveillance footage exiting the bathroom area at approximately 10:21 hours.
What does he have with him when he exits the bathroom?
When Colt Gray exits the bathroom, you can see him carrying his book bag. The rifle is still partially concealed in it. He carries that back down towards his second period class and attempts to make entry into this second period class.
Is he able to make entry into that class?
No, ma'am, he's not.
Where does he go after that?
After that, he moves down the hall to classroom 2.152. This classroom is Ms. Ryan and Coach Edwards' classroom, and he is able to make entry into that classroom.
What happens inside that classroom?
Excuse me. So Colt Gray fires into this classroom multiple times, striking numerous students, and ultimately causing the death of Christian Ngula.
What does he do after he leaves that classroom?
After he leaves this classroom, it appears that he kind of becomes distracted and comes out this way. Christian Ngula ultimately shuts the door to that classroom, preventing Colt Gray from re-entering the classroom. So Colt continues down the hall until he gets to approximately in this area, at which time Miss Jeremy in classroom number 2.145, she opens the door to kind of check and see what's going on, and she is struck at that time.
And what does he do after that?
After that, Colt continues to move down the hall. And as he's moving down the hall, Coach Aspinwall and Coach Phoenix they exit. I'm sorry. Oh, there it is. So Coach Aspinwall and Coach Phoenix, they exit the classrooms. Again, they're coming down the hall to see what the noises are, to see what's going on. At that time, Colt Gray engages both. He strikes Coach Phoenix and Coach Aspinwall, and they return to down the hall. Colt continues on down J Hall, at which time he comes into contact with Mason Skirmorn, who exits the men's bathroom.
And what happens at that point?
At that point, Colt Gray opens fire on Mason.
After he shoots Mason, what happens?
At that point, Colt continues on down the hall to where he gets to, this is K Hall, and he points his rifle down, aiming it at a student by the name of Zane Zay. At this moment in time, this is when, at this hall right here, this is F Hall, and this is when SROs Sergeant Donovan Boyd and Deputy King are coming down F Hall. They announce and give verbal commands to Colt to put down the rifle, and he does so.
And at that point, is he apprehended?
Yes, ma'am, yes.
Okay, thank you. Investigator, if you can sit back down. On September 4th, were you at work that day?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
And did you receive a call that there was a shooting at Apalachee?
Yes, ma'am, we received radio traffic that there was an active shooter at Apalachee High School.
Did you then go to Apalachee?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you do when you first got there?
So when I first got there, I made entry into the school from a cafeteria entrance or an entrance near the cafeteria. I made contact with Sergeant Brett Maxwell and Deputy Greg Jones in the cafeteria area. I was informed that they believe they had one shooter in custody, but there was a suspicion that there may be a second shooter. So at that point, I assisted with clearing the side of the school that had not been cleared.
As you were working to secure the school, did your Lieutenant Wilkerson, give you a specific task?
Yes, ma'am, he did.
And what was that?
That was to conduct an interview with the shooter, Colt Gray.
Can you kind of tell us how that happened?
So we were I was coming back into the lunchroom area, headed back towards, after we had cleared our side, heading back towards J Hall to see if I could be of some assistance. And while coming through the cafeteria area, Lieutenant Wilkerson made contact with me.
And at the time he asked you to interview him, where was Colt Gray?
So Colt Gray, once he had been apprehended, he was located in this area right here. I'm sorry, I'm shaking. Directly in this hallway, which is the intersection of K Hall and J Hall.
When you came into contact with him, was he still in that area?
Yes, ma'am. He was handcuffed in that area.
Where did you take him in order to interview him?
So we, after we started the evacuation process of J Hall, there was an open classroom nearby, 2.139, which is the last classroom, and it was the closest classroom to where Colt was at that time.
Approximately what time did you begin to interview him?
I believe the interview started at 10:54 hours.
So that was approximately 30 minutes after the shooting?
Yes, ma'am.
During the course of the interview, was he handcuffed?
Yes, ma'am.
Was anyone with you during that interview?
For a portion of the interview, Special Agent Jeremy Howell with the GBI and Lieutenant Wilkerson were there for a portion of that interview.
Approximately how long did it last?
I believe it was approximately 1 hour and 15 minutes.
At the conclusion of that interview, what did y'all do with the defendant?
So I advised Colt that he was under arrest, and ultimately Colt was transported to the Barrow County Detention Center for processing.
Did you interview him again?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
And where did that interview take place?
That interview took place at the Barrow County Sheriff's Office Criminal Investigations Division.
Was anyone with you during that particular interview?
Yes, ma'am.
And who was that?
That was Special Agent Nick Johnson with GBI.
And how long did that interview approximately last?
I believe it was approximately 2 hours.
And at the conclusion of that second interview, did you read him the warrants that you had taken out for his arrest?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Do you, at that point, what warrants had you taken out?
I believe the warrants that I took out were for the offenses of aggravated assault and felony murder.
I know ultimately y'all took out more warrants, but at that time, what, if any, reaction did Mr. Gray have to the warrants that you had taken out?
He just stated that he understood. There was very little reaction or emotion.
We're going to play the interviews later, but before we get into that, I want to ask you a few specific questions about those interviews. During the interview at Apalachee High School, your first interview, did the defendant tell you where he found his rifle that he used in committing this crime?
Yes, ma'am.
Where did he say he found it?
He said that he found it in a lockbox or a toolbox.
And did he indicate whether or not he had to look hard to find it, or whether or not it was easy to find?
Yes, he said he had to look hard to find it.
Did he continue to say that same thing throughout the interview, that he had to go get his firearm from a locked box?
Yes, ma'am.
Did the location of that box change throughout the different interviews?
It did.
And kind of tell us what it changed from and to.
So initially, I believe Colt stated that the rifle was somehow secured in his father's vehicle. And then ultimately, when we were going back through the timeline of Colin leaving early that morning, Colt kind of said, well, maybe it was somewhere else.
And during the course of your investigation into the shooting, did you determine whether or not the gun was in fact hidden?
We did.
Okay, and what did y'all determine?
We determined that it was kept in Colt Gray's bedroom.
And so him indicating that was hidden was not true?
Correct.
During your initial interview, how did he tell you the shooting came about? As in, did he tell you that it was planned or not planned?
Colt indicated that it was spontaneous, that it was a last minute thing, that he came into school that morning, had heard voices, and that he just, on the way to get help, on the way to the crisis counselor, he just decided to conduct the shooting.
Did he reiterate that lack of planning in the second interview as well?
He did.
And again, during the course of your investigation, did you determine if the shooting was just for the moment or if it had actually been planned?
No, ma'am, it appears that it was planned for quite some time.
And how did you determine that it was planned?
So there was a search of Colt's cell phone, and on that cell phone, there were notes dating back some months indicating that he had made plans, and also in there was a black notebook that Colt had taken to school that day, and inside that black notebook was a pretty detailed plan.
I've just given you what's been marked as Exhibit 337.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recognize that?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And what do you recognize that as?
So this is the 3-ring binder that Colt Gray, we commonly refer to it as the black notebook, but it is a 3-ring binder that Colt took to school that day.
And is that the notebook that you indicated during earlier testimony that you opened up in Ms. Greer's class?
Correct.
And is that where that notebook was ultimately found?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, this time I'd like to introduce an evidence to Exhibit 337.
Mr. Allen?
No objection,
All right, 337 is admitted.
And before we go into what was in the notebook, at this time I'd like to play State Exhibit 236A. It's previously been introduced under the stipulation. It is a clip from Ms. Greer's second period class. I'm going to ask Investigator Smith a couple questions about it.
All right, this was stipulated to Mr. Allen.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, it's admitted.
Can you kind of orient us to where Colt is, or Mr. Gray is in this video?
Yes, ma'am. If you direct your attention to the bottom of the circle here, well, you're not going to be able to see that. So at the bottom of the circle right here, this is Colt Gray, and this is his desk.
Okay, thank you. All right, and this is approximately 9:46 a.m.
Yes, ma'am.
And is this going to show when he opens up the black notebook?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so at that point in the video, he opens up the notebook. Does he at some point then leave the classroom?
He does.
And when he leaves the classroom, does he leave that notebook open up on his desk?
Yes, ma'am, he does.
And at this time, we're going to show the clip from Ms. Greer's classroom where he leaves the notebook open. And you indicated earlier that he told his teacher that he was going to go see a crisis counselor. Is this the point where he tells her that at some point in this part of the video?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then, do you know what ultimately happens with that notebook?
Yes, ma'am. Sometime after Colt left and went to the bathroom, there is a young lady that was seated next to him. The desks are kind of put together in a group of four. So his neighbor to the left of him, she ultimately closes that notebook, and she places that notebook on a shelf below a whiteboard that was located directly behind Colt, so that another classmate can come sit next to her.
Okay. And we're going to show the clip from 10:14 a.m. where that student places the notebook behind her. Is that location where the notebook was ultimately found when the GBI was processing the crime scene?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And this time I'm going to bring up State Exhibit 10, which also has been previously introduced under the stipulation, and is a crime scene photo of the black notebook. And can you kind of tell us on that picture where the black notebook was ultimately?
Yes, ma'am. If you look at the whiteboard over here to the right side of the screen, there's a black notebook that is sitting long ways on that aluminum shelf below the whiteboard.
Have you had an opportunity to review the contents of that notebook?
Yes, ma'am.
And at this time, I'd like to start going through the contents of that notebook.
Yes, ma'am.
So we're going to start, so this is State Exhibit 337, and I'm going to display page 1 of that for the court. Can you kind of take us through the writings on there that you can see?
Yes, ma'am. At the top of the page, there's the number 29 circled. So it says 29, including teacher. Below that, directly in a circle with, it looks like apostrophes around it, states September 4th. And then if you look further down on the page on the left-hand side, there appears to be a drawing of Ms. Greer's classroom, judging from the layout that you saw in the surveillance footage, as well as what's drawn here. And then further down on the page on the right-hand side, it states suicide 50-50 live with a question mark. Again, there's some more writing and scribblings below that with the word why, but also directly below Miss Greer's classroom drawing, it states, "I'm not a killer, stop, I'm scared," along with some other doodles.
And this time I'm going to kind of zoom in on the portion of the classroom and pull up a screenshot of Miss Greer's classroom next to it. So, kind of, and you mentioned, oops. That's okay. We will not zoom in on it, but we will pull them back up. You mentioned that it appears to be, the drawing appeared to be Ms. Greer's classroom. Can you kind of talk us through that?
Yes, ma'am. On the drawing, if you look at the drawing on the top right-hand corner, it states desk. It's kind of labeled. And if you look at the video surveillance system on the right-hand side, up in the top right-hand corner, is Mrs. Greer's desk. Also, if you refer back to Colt's drawing, there is a rectangle with what looks like TV written beside it. As you can see in the video surveillance, there is a TV in the lower right-hand corner.
And do the kind of orientation and the number of what appear to be desks in that drawing match the orientation and number of desks in her actual classroom?
Yes, it's very consistent.
Okay. Based on this drawing, does it appear that the second period class was in fact the target of this shooting.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we're going to move to page 2. Okay, and can you kind of take us through what he has written on this page?
Yes, ma'am. At the top of the page, there's some letters that are written. Below that, it states, "Wow, I did not expect." If you look further down on the page, what kind of jumped out to me was the sentence, "God, here I am, prison."
Is that kind of in the middle of the
Yes, ma'am.
page
That's,
there?
if you kind of look in between, he goes back and forth between scribbling and writing sentences on this page and doodling. But if you look halfway through the page, it states, "God, here I am in prison."
Okay. And then we're going to move to page 3. And these appear to be sort of symbols of some sort.
Yes, ma'am.
Moving to page 4. Can you tell us what this page is?
Yes, ma'am. And reading through this, this appeared to be kind of Colt's plan for what he was going to do on September 4th.
And before you read it, based on kind of the content of the plan as well as you viewing surveillance video from September 4th, did the defendant write this plan prior to going to school on September 4th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And can you read it for us?
Okay. So at the top, it states class. It says second, walk from first to the bathroom. So I'll set my bag down, open it, and put on vest. I'll take it a moment or two to stay calm and really think about if I want to do this. Take out the poster covering rifle. Take out the rifle and prop it up, against the wall. Vest should be on at this point. Get out gloves that are in your backpack and put them on. Clap a few times to make sure they're on tight. Once done, zip up backpack, check mags, slots, and vest. And then down at the bottom, he kind of details what magazines he was planning on bringing. He draws 2 magazines and identifies those as 20-round magazines. He draws a little bit larger magazine and labels it as a 60-rounder. And then he draws a 4th magazine and labels it 30-rounder. And if you look a little bit further to the right, he identifies that he will have 110 rounds total.
And it's ATP, commonly known as at this point.
Yes.
Okay. So in this plan, he talks about bringing a vest. Did he ultimately bring a vest to school that day?
No, ma'am.
Also, you mentioned earlier when you were going over what the defendant did that day, that he left Ms. Greer's classroom and went to the bathroom.
That's correct.
And in this plan specifically, it says first to the bathroom. Is that correct?
Correct.
In his interview at the sheriff's office, did he give you an idea or did he tell you whether or not going to the bathroom was planned or if it was just sort of spur of the moment?
In the interview at CID, he told me, and again, that this was a spur of the moment thing.
And based on this written out plan, was it spur of the moment to go to the bathroom?
Absolutely not.
Okay. He also, in the plan, mentions take out poster covering rifle.
Correct.
In his interview at the sheriff's office, what did he say about the poster being around the gun?
So he said that morning that he just grabbed whatever gun and whatever ammunition he could find and what paper he could to hide the rifle.
So again, he acted like the poster was not a planned aspect of this.
Correct.
And based on this written plan, was that truthful?
No, it was not.
Now, also in the plan, as you mentioned, he outlines the exact magazines he intends on bringing. During his interview, what did he say about the magazines?
During the interview, he just said that he grabbed whatever was available He didn't indicate that he intended to bring a specific number of rounds or magazines or anything like that.
And so based on the plan, did he intend to actually have specific magazines that he brought?
Absolutely, yes, ma'am.
And when he ended up actually bringing the magazines to the school that day, are these drawings accurate as to what, or close to accurate as to what magazines he ultimately brought?
Yes, ma'am. 3 of the 4 are accurate.
Now we're going to move to page 5, which is the second part of his written out plan. Can you read through that for us?
Yes, ma'am. On the top, it states, begins, onto the thing, wait a bit, make sure no one is walking in or out of the bathroom. Gloves should be on. Take out your 60 rounder and put it in the chamber, put it in and chamber around. Okay? Turn on your red dot, aim down at the floor to make sure your sight is on. Check your vest and make sure that it is on tight. Once done, check the stock to make sure it's at your preferred setting. Put on hat, make sure hair is out of face. Set backpack to the side. Pick up rifle with right hand, open stall door with left. Don't shoot anyone in the bathroom. You will alert people.
And ultimately, did he follow that plan?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to move to page 6. And again, can you tell us what this is?
This is another more detailed drawing of Ms. Greer's classroom. Specifically, what kind of jumped out to me about this one is on whichever day Colt made this prior to September 4th, he appears to document that there were empty seats in the classroom on this specific day. And again, you can see the TV in the bottom right-hand corner and Mrs. Greer's desk in the top left-hand corner. Colt also identifies his personal seat.
And is that there at the bottom right where he says myself, I believe?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And can we bring up that screenshot again? Side by side. You indicated that on whichever day he wrote this, he put EM to indicate an empty seat.
Correct.
Are the empty seats different than what actually occurred on September 4th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so again, does that indicate to you that this was written on a different day than September 4th?
Yes, ma'am, it does.
Now we're going to move to page 7. Okay, can you take us through what he wrote on this page?
Yes, ma'am. This appears to be Colt's plan for how many people he thought, how many casualties or injured that he thought were going to be subsequent to the shooting. So at the top it states hallway. I'm thinking 3 to 4 people killed, injured, question mark, 4 to 5. On the right-hand side, he states classroom, 15 to 17 killed, injured 2 to 3. Further down on the page, classroom 2, 3 to 5 killed, injured 2 to 3. And then in parentheses, it says, surprised if I make it. And then down at the bottom, he draws some squinty emoji.
As far as this plane, does it appear that he planned to actually enter a second classroom?
Yes, ma'am.
And viewing the surveillance video, did he walk down the hall to look for another classroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We're going to move to page 8. Can you just kind of summarize what is on this page?
Yes, ma'am. This is where he repeatedly wrote the word why over 100 times. Down at the bottom, he kind of writes out a sentence, why am I like this?
And then we're moving to page 9.
Again, he writes the word why repeatedly. I think this was over 20 times.
Okay. And then we're going to move to page 10.
Again, on this page, Colt again writes the word why approximately 100 times.
Page 11.
This is Colt again writing the word why. This appears to be approximately 60 times. And in the middle of the page, there seems to be some type of cryptic letter or code with the word why written out to the side.
And then we're going to move to page 12.
This is the word animal written 6 times.
Page 13.
This is a drawing of a sad face, and at the top it's written, "I can't wait, I can't wait."
Page 14.
This appears to be some type of scribble.
Page 15.
Again, this is just a whole entire page where he decided to scribble in a notebook.
Page 16.
This is a drawing. There's some doodles at the top of the screen, but further down you can see a drawing of a firearm with the number 10 pointing to the magazine.
And then the final page, page 17.
At the top of the page, you can see a stick figure that appears to be standing behind a door. And to the left of that door, there appears to be a semi-automatic handgun with a silencer and an extended magazine firing into or through the door. Below that, it says extended mag. And then there's the word Healy is written in the middle of the page. And then below that are a couple more drawings, one of an AR style rifle, and the one above that, another appears to be handgun.
Okay. And that the entirety of what was in that black notebook that was found at Apalachee High School on September 4th.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, all right. I know it's about noon. That kind of concludes that portion of our questioning.
Seems like a good stopping point. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a recess for lunch. We'll resume at 1:15.
You're watching at Southern Sin, your home for true crime. Court will begin shortly. Don't go anywhere.
All right, we're all present. Go ahead.
All right, Investigator Smith, we are going to now turn to a different notebook. In addition to the black notebook that was found at the crime scene of Apalachee High School, were any other notebooks found at the defendant's residence?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what kind of notebook was found there?
That was a yellow spiral notebook.
Okay. I just handed you what's marked in State Exhibit 3, is that 3, what did I put on there, 388?
Yes, ma'am.
388.
338, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, 338. Do you recognize that?
I do.
What do you recognize that as?
So this is a yellow 3-ring spiral notebook.
And is it the 3-ring yellow spiral notebook that was found at the defendant's residence?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Your Honor, somebody go ahead and introduce the evidence, State Exhibit 338.
Mr. Allen?
No objection, Judge.
All right, 338 admitted.
And before we read the contents of that, can we go ahead and pull up State Exhibit 188, which was previously introduced in evidence under the stipulation? Can you tell the court where that notebook was found in the defendant's room here?
Yes, ma'am. If you look directly below the television, there's a desk below that, and then there was a metal wire shelving unit. On top of that shelving unit, but below the desk, this notebook is lying on its face up underneath there.
And I'm going to go ahead and bring up State Exhibit 190, which is just kind of a close-up of that. That's already also been introduced under the stipulation. And can you again just kind of point us to that notebook?
Yes, ma'am. This is the notebook. You can see the cardboard backing of the yellow spiral notebook below the desk on the right-hand side.
All right. And I'm going to pull up that yellow notebook on the screen, or I guess the contents. We're going to start with the first page. Can you read us what was on that first page?
Yes, ma'am. It seems to be some type of poem. States, forever in bliss, save me from this cruel world, I beg you. Don't leave me unconscious for all of eternity. Awake me in your arms, your wings. Save me, I beg of you. I'm so tired. Just hold me close. Wrap your wings around me, please.
And then moving to the second page.
The second page, there's some writing that says, I can write and write. Just save me. I just want to be taken away from this cruel world. And there appears to be some type of angel wings or angel drawings below that.
Moving to page 3.
This is a continued writing. Yeah, I know. A male. Women are scary. And men just taste better. I want to be an angel. I want to be with, and then in parentheses, a guy. I want to stick the barrel of my gun in my mouth and pull the trigger and wake up in an angel's arms, and then in parentheses again, a guy.
Moving to page 4.
This appears to be a self-portrait of some kind.
And then page 5.
Again, this is appears to be another self-portrait.
Judge, these are portraits, yes. I don't know how he can conjecture that they're self-portraits simply because they're no found on my line.
All right, I'll sustain the objection to the extent he's guessing what it is. He can describe what it is, and we'll go from there.
Moving to the next page, which is page 6.
This appears to be a portrait labeled Colt.
Moving to page 7.
This is appears to be a portrait of someone sharing characteristics with Nicholas Cruz.
Now moving to page 8.
This is some additional writing. At the top of the page, it says SS now with an exclamation point. Beginning on the left-hand side of the page, it says breathe, pull, reload, click. To the right of that, it says Nick, 139, Adam, 154. And we believe these to be the number of rounds that Nicholas Cruz and Adam Lanza were able to fire during their respective shootings. Below the, moving further down on the page, it states 430 round mags, 30 times 4 equals 120. To the right of that, it is a drawing that appears to be some type of vest. Looks like it has magazines on the front of the vest, and it's literally labeled vest above that. Below the picture of the vest is the words more risk, more mags. Moving further down the page, it states it doesn't take much, just once or twice, in the chest or head. And then there is a drawing that appears to be a backpack with a rifle loaded into it. And it states sticks out of bag. And then there is a description above that that says hoodie over. So it looks like at one point, Colt planned to put a hoodie over the rifle instead of his poster board that he ultimately used.
And did the gun actually stick out of Colt's bag or the defendant's bag when you
Yes,
took it into the school?
Yes.
Again, this level of cleaning that he is doing on this page and drawing the rifle and kind of how to.
Characterization here, it's not necessarily, you can't show this level of planning. You show that he is making drawings and doodlings and that sort of sort. It's up to the finder of fact and for whether or not the other evidence presented leads to this thing and that sort of planning. The characterization that this is a plan, I think, is inappropriate at this point.
one, he hasn't let me finish my question, which I'm asking Investigator Smith to basically compare this picture to what the defendant said in his interview. I think he can do that. He has a basis of knowledge of how the defendant took the gun into the school, and he has a basis of knowledge of the interview. So he can compare the different types of planning that occurred.
I'll overrule.
Thank you, Your Honor. So essentially, this page where he has drawn the gun kind of sticking out of the bag with a hoodie over it, is that a different level of planning than what he indicated to you in the interview?
Yes.
And did he indicate that there was any level of planning in how to get the gun into the school in the interview?
No, he did not.
All right, moving to the next page, which is page 9.
This is a stick figure cartoon. It says, shoot the teacher first, the students next. There's a stick figure drawing with the individual holding what appears to be a firearm and shooting that firearm at another stick figure who has their arms up. And a description of what is going on is written to the right of that where it says gut shot. There's also 2 other students that appear to be standing behind what I'm assuming, since he's labeled them students, as desks. Further down the page is a continuation of the cartoon caricature. There appears to be someone lying deceased on the floor, with their eyes drawn as 2 X's. The individual who is doing the shooting, which is labeled U. You can see the firearm going off, and then he has drawn bullets that are heading in the direction of those students. And then a further continuation on the 3rd slide of the cartoon is it states suicide with a smiley face, and it appears that the stick figure who was doing the shooting is causing self-harm.
All right, and now we are going to move to the next page, which is page 10. And kind of tell us what's on that page.
So this he's discussing specifically ammunition and the price of ammunition. Up at the top it states $20 equals 20 rounds. So you earn $5.45 an hour. 5 times 7 hours is $35. And that would be split. $20 out of the 35 leaves me with 15. $1 per 1 round. $15 equals 15 rounds. $20 equals 20 rounds. 20 plus 15 is 35 rounds. And then at the bottom, he has signed it big brain with a smiley face.
Moving to the final page, which is page 11. Can you tell us what's on that page?
Yes. So up at the top of the page, it says, as for Nick, he's the love of my life. If it wasn't for him, I don't think I would be there.
And you indicated earlier that there was a picture that resembled Nicholas Cruz. And who is that?
Nicholas Cruz is another school shooter.
And does he spell his name N-I-K?
He does.
All right, so now that kind of concludes that portion of the journal. We're going to now move to the actual interviews that you conducted with Mr. Gray. For that first interview that you conducted at Apalachee High School about 30 minutes after the shooting, how was that recorded?
That was recorded on a digital audio recorder that we're issued.
Okay. And was that in 2 parts?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
I have on our computer Exhibit 339A and Exhibit 339B, which are the 2 parts of that interview. Again, opportunity to review those.
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Are they a fair and accurate recording of your interview with Colt Gray on September 4th at Apalachee High School?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Your Honor, this time I'd like to introduce an evidence states Exhibit 339A and 339B. Mr. Allen?
All right, there's me.
Okay. And I believe we're going to play approximately 1 hour and 10 minutes of this interview at this time.
So this is 339A.
Yeah, well, this
First
would be 339A, and then it's, when it concludes, 339B. They're a total of about an hour and 10 minutes.
All right.
Just 6 hours. Continue. What's your name? Colt? Colt what? Just go ahead and talk. Actually, do you mind that room? No. Let's go ahead and talk.
Whenever you're ready, let's go. We'll put 2 with you all the time.
Hey, bud. My name is Investigator Smith, okay? I work with the Bear County Sheriff's Office. Can you get your hair out of your face for me? You got it? Okay. What'd you say your name was?
Colt Gray, G-R-A.
C-O-L-T?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's Colt, not Colt.
Okay. Can you tell me your date of birth, bud?
January 14th, 2010.
You said your last name was G-R-E-Y?
G-R-A-Y.
A-Y? And you said your birthday was what?
January 14th, 2010.
14.
10.
Okay, 2010. What grade are you in?
I'm a freshman, I think, the first grade in high school.
You're a freshman.
Hopefully maybe a relic
Okay. What's going on, buddy?
I think I drive, and a police officer came in the bathroom. I thought he would stop me when he did it. At that point, I didn't think there was no going. I didn't think there was any human traffic.
Okay. So you said you were in the bathroom?
Yes, sir, down there.
What were you doing in the bathroom?
I was just contemplating. I really shouldn't do this. Like that my life was already over.
Do what?
I said I was contemplating I shouldn't do this, but my life was already over and kept me thinking. And I keep having people tell me to do it, and I hate it. I can't even look that way. I feel terrible, dude. I'm not just my actions at all. I'm just so lucky.
Okay.
Lucky is horrible, man.
How old are you, Cole?
I'm 14.
You're 14? Okay, I'm going to read you something real quick, okay? Because you might kind of made some statements to me, and I want to read you something, okay? All right. These are your Miranda rights, okay?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever seen the Miranda rights
Yes,
on
sir.
TV?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's the same thing, okay?
Okay.
You have the right to remain silent.
Yes, sir.
Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
Yes, sir.
You have the right to talk to a lawyer and to have him present with you while you're being questioned.
Yes, sir.
If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning.
Yes, sir.
You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Knowing and understanding each of these rights as I've explained them to you, and having these rights in mind, do you wish to talk with me?
Yes, sir.
You do?
I don't want to talk to anybody at this point. I'm so sorry.
And just so I can make sure that you understand
Yes,
those
sir.
rights,
I understand.
what does that mean to you, that what I just read?
That means that I can talk to you or get a lawyer.
Okay.
I can buy one or get one appointed to me.
Okay.
I understand.
Okay. Okay, so Cole, tell me what happened today. How did we get here?
I'm those things, and it kept growing on me, and I pulled back as much as I could. I just by the time I got here, I realized what I had brought on myself. I didn't know. I had a moment of like in the bathroom. I was like, I really shouldn't do this. The next thing I know, I'm fucking shooting in a classroom, dude.
You shot in a classroom?
Yes, sir. Down there.
You did?
Yeah, and then I saw people in the hallway.
And you shot people in the hallway too?
Yes, sir. I think that would. It was so. He didn't even know, dude.
You didn't know what?
He was looking the other way, and I just. I didn't even even have my sights turned on, man. I was just so like, it wasn't me. I thought it all just fight anything. It's fucking horrible. No.
Okay, I'm gonna close this door real quick, okay? So you said you brought a gun to school today?
Yes, sir.
What kind of gun did you bring to school?
I'm 15.
And
SIG M400.
And a SIG M400?
No.
What kind of gun is the SIG M400?
AR-15, but I think it shoots whatever. I don't know. I just grabbed whatever was closest to me.
Who's closest?
Just fucking came here and did this stupid shit. I'm probably affected thousands of people, dude. This is fucking horrible.
What did what made you want to bring a gun to school?
So many things I'm trying to pinpoint, but I don't know. I just like I have auditory things, and I have so many things I can't get out. I'm really unwell.
Okay, you said you had auditory things?
Auditory things. Yeah.
Like what? What is that?
Just constant, like just random whispering and shit like that. I know it's so common for, people to fake schizophrenia just to get some stupid, like, settlement or whatever. It's just, oh my God.
Is that something that you've been to the doctor for?
No, sir, but my dad had a, appointment next week. But I couldn't wait. I told him to hide his guns and he did, but I don't know how I found them.
Your dad hid the guns?
Yes, he already ordered a gun safe. It's one of those situations where like he just was like oblivious. I told him and he knew he cared about me.
When did you tell him to hide the gun?
A few days ago.
A few days ago?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is that something that you've been thinking about doing for a while?
Yes, it's been years.
You've been thinking about it for years?
It's only gotten worse. And I finally just now got to the point where I wanted to reach out and get help. We were so close.
What did do you know what doctor you were going to see next week?
No, it was a crisis counselor. I tried to call the hotline in the bathroom, but it didn't go through.
Okay.
And I thought the officer who walked in was looking for me, and I thought he would notice me, but he didn't. He just walked out.
Okay. Where were you at when the officer walked out? You were in the bathroom?
But he could see my hair. I knew he could.
Okay. And was that before you shot or after you shot?
That was before. That was when I was trying my best to not do this horrible shit, dude. And I'm not trying to get any remorse for anybody. I know I fucked up so much. I'm just not trying to leave anybody in the dark. That's like, why did I do this? I hate it.
What's your dad's name, Colt?
His real name is Colt Gray, but he goes by Colt Gray.
Okay. How do you spell his name?
Colin or Coley?
Colin.
Colin is his last name.
Gray.
I'm so fucking sorry.
Do you know his telephone number?
No, but it's on my phone. My bag is never still installed.
Okay.
Everything.
Where's the bathroom that your book bag
I
is
think
in?
it's down there. I completely just became decentralized through all of it. I came back and was on the fucking floor.
Okay. So going back, you said that you've been thinking about this for years?
Years, maybe not years, but at least a year or two. And I had really bad influences, like that paired with, I think my teachers are against me, and I know it's not schizophrenia because I see them whispering to each other in the hallway and plotting against me. So I wanted to do something to get them away from me. I destroyed my computer. I'm so scared.
You destroyed what?
My computer at home.
You did?
Yeah.
When did you do that?
Today, I think.
Why did you destroy your computer today?
I thought they were inside my computer and they were working with somebody. So it was somebody that was after me.
Somebody was after you?
Yeah, it's not schizophrenia either. I know they are. All my teachers are in on it. They planned against me. It's the only thing that.
What did you see in your computer that led you to believe that somebody was?
I don't know. I was looking around. I so I impulsively just like out of nowhere did that.
How did you destroy it?
I can't remember. All I know is I did something with it. It's just now coming back, like just, oh my God.
So you mentioned earlier that some people told you to do this or encouraged you.
Yeah, it was so many things. I feel like that led up to it. For one, the teachers, the people that are after me, and then I have constant people egging me on and telling me that, they're after me, but eventually they're going to give me inside.
Who's been egging you on?
I don't know. I just hear them sometimes inside. It's mostly kind of like whisper. It's sometimes family members that I hear, but it's not actually my family members. Also, that I can at least have self-awareness.
So are you saying those are the voices that you hear?
I don't even know their voices, but
What do you think they are?
There are things I don't know. It's hard to even make it out sometimes.
And you said some of them sound like family members.
Family members, yes, sir. I'm so fucking sorry, dude. I look back and I saw, oh my God. Oh my God.
So Colt, do you think you can walk me through this morning from the time that you got up?
I think I can.
Okay. What time did you get up this
I know I can get a lawyer, but I want you and I want everyone to be informed because this is fucking sick. This is horrible. They're telling me it's okay that I did the right thing, but I know I have morality then.
Who's telling you it was okay and you didn't?
People, I feel like the teachers whispered to me in class that this is what I had to do.
You think the teachers whispered this to you? And the family members whispered this to you?
Yeah. It's always inside. I don't think that's schizophrenia. I think that possibly what I thought was maybe using brainwaves to somehow get tracked inside of us.
So let's kind of go back to the beginning of today, okay?
Okay.
Tell me everything that happened between the time you woke up until the time you got here today.
I have been awake for like a day. I've been trying. I thought about killing myself to not stop this because at least I know with most it's just completely like they're just not there. But I had glimpses and shivers of morality. This isn't wrong because I heard it with my partner.
When's the last time you remember sleeping?
Sleeping?
Yeah, when did you last sleep?
I think like a day ago. Today I don't even know what today is.
Okay. What time did you start getting ready for school?
I said I put my clothes on like normal, and it was going well. I told my dad I loved him, and I was so glad that he was giving me help I needed. And I had people online that I was in contact with that weren't good influences.
Okay. Who were you in contact with online?
Just like Discord account, just young girls just go through and see.
Do you have a username on Discord?
I think it's occasional burner, just occasional burner.
Okay.
And I told them that I feel like people were after me. They tried to help me so much, and I said they were influenced. They weren't. They knew what I was going through. They tried their hardest, and I told them that I wasn't going to do it.
What did the people on Discord say?
They said, I think it was only 2 or 3 people. I think all of them were girls too. I think one of them is gay, but
What did they say to you?
One of them said that that you're strong. You don't need to do this.
Okay, they tried to talk you out of it.
Yeah, pretty much, but they weren't even because I told them I had things. Told me like I had to like tell them I didn't want to freak them out, so I just told them it was simply something I don't know that like I was gonna try my hardest not to let happen. They believed it.
Okay, you said this morning you got up and what did you didn't go to bed last night, right?
No, sir.
What did you do all night last night while everybody was sleeping?
I laid on the floor, fucking, I contemplated. I was trying so bad. I thought I was not gonna do it.
What were you contemplating?
This, I mean, contemplating in a sense, it was more of like, I don't even want to say fighting off these things, but it was more of like hoping that the facility and these brainwaves and stuff that are really just making me do shit. I've threatened, I've said shit within the last month that I've never said to like my family members. Like,
You've been threatening your family members over the past?
yeah, and like my dad, like, I told him, but then I told him that I was gonna kill myself, and my dad was scared. He knew that if he tried to call anyone that, eventually for a while he thought that I was gonna hurt myself. But eventually I got to him. I was like, hey, it's okay. I love you. I said, I'm not gonna do this.
So this morning, you about what time was it that you saw your dad and told him that you loved him?
He went to work. I just texted him.
What time? Oh, you texted him?
Yeah.
Did you see your dad at all this morning?
I don't know. I don't remember. I thought I saw him, and then I thought I saw him another time. You know, I also thought I heard footsteps like outside the porch because I was parked up next to my wall.
Okay.
I texted him like 5 minutes before I did it. I told him I loved him. This wasn't anybody's fault.
You texted him 5 minutes before you.
I think it was 5 minutes. I only assumed. It was definitely shortly before, and I told him that it wasn't his fault, that he always tried my his hardest for me. I love him.
You did 5 minutes before what though?
Oh, this. And I told also close friends that I'm sorry online. I was so fucking sorry. And my day was really bad. So I happened to go through. I know at least one of them did.
Well, you said you texted friends online.
Yeah, only 2 or 3. I'm not that. These past 2 months, I wasn't that social. There were people on Discord.
In Discord. Okay. So this morning you got up. And what time do you remember about what time you put your clothes on to get ready for school?
Oh man, I think around 7-ish.
Around 7?
My bus comes around at 8. Oh my god.
Okay, you ride the bus?
Yeah, yes sir.
You ride the bus here?
Yeah.
Do you know what bus you ride?
No, I don't know. I know my folks probably has it. Oh my god.
What's your address?
896 Harrison Mill Road.
Harrison Mill Road.
He's just, my daddy's gonna be in shock. I know he is.
We're gonna try to reach out to him, okay?
Okay, thank you.
So you get on the bus. Now, you said you brought earlier that you brought a gun to school.
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell me how you got that gun.
Oh my god, this is fucking horrible, man. I looked impulsively for a good while, and all throughout it felt like I wasn't even there. It was almost like I was decentralized, just having no control over these impulses that I was doing. And at this time, I had given like my dad part, and I gave my dad his guns and ammunition because we bonded over that, you know, before all this shit happened. But in the last few months, I just completely lost it.
Okay, so you said you looked for a while for the gun today.
Yes, sir, because he hid it. That's what I'm trying to say. It wasn't his fault because
Where did he normally keep it?
in his room.
Do you know where in his room?
I think it's his closet, but when I found it, I think it was in his toolbox. I can't remember. He definitely tried his hardest. I know he did.
Okay, but you told your dad. When did you tell your dad to move it? You said was it months ago?
It was like a month ago. I've been fighting this off for so long. Oh my god, this is so traumatic. I know for all of you, I'm so sorry.
And you said you think it was in his toolbox?
I think it was, yes. It was somewhere really well hidden.
Okay, where is his toolbox?
In his truck, you know, like trucks they have.
Okay, so you found it in his truck?
It was either his truck toolbox or some kind of case that he had locked up.
In his truck?
Yes, sir.
When did you get the gun?
I got it like right before I left. I wasn't a big fan of airsoft, so I had bought a vest for that. And I thought about wearing that, but it was just like, oh my god, dude. Just, it was.
You took that this morning?
The vest?
No.
Oh.
The gun you took out of your dad's truck this morning.
Yes.
Okay.
And you know, I don't know for sure it was his truck. I just know it was somewhere really well hidden. Oh my God. Fucking Lord, David, what the fuck am I doing? I'm sorry, everyone. This is horrible. I'm not trying to gain remorse at all. I'm just thinking, this is so fucking horrible.
I can understand why you're upset.
Because I hope that whole fucking recover.
So you said that you got the gun,
Yes, sir.
and did you take the gun on the bus?
I think so. I did something with my backpack. I think I hid it somehow with paper. Oh my God. Fuck, it's hard to fight. This white head.
No, that's okay.
Oh my God, dude.
Just take some breaths, okay?
I'm so fucking sorry. You all have to deal with this shit. This is horrible.
So you said you kind of hit it with paper when you get on the bus?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so when you get to school, what do you do then?
I go to my, I think I was into my first period.
What's your first period?
It's a science, it's sort of software technology. It's messed up because I knew she knew something was in it. She asked me.
Who's your teacher?
Oh my God. Harris, I think, S. Harris. I told her, I don't know. I don't know what it is. And I know that's what she afforded the comment. He was looking for me, just doesn't mind me.
So
no, he walked in the bathroom that I was in. I guess he just didn't notice I was there.
Okay, so you said that your teacher asked you about, what did she say to you when she asked about
She said, what's in the paper? What's between the paper?
What's between the paper?
Yeah.
How long after you went to class did she ask that? Was that really soon or towards the end of class?
Towards the end of class.
Towards the end of class?
Oh my God, man. This was so impossible. I have just fucking ruined this.
What did you tell her?
I just, like I said, I don't know. It's vague. It's fine. Everything was all day fine.
And Colt, that's good. If you can't remember, say I can't remember.
I can't remember, but I can say I think I said something along the lines of, no, I don't know. I don't even know. Okay.
So you told her you didn't know?
Yeah, I thought about crying for help. It was the officer. I hope he would not want to stop.
So you mentioned that, how did you go, what happened between the time the teacher asked you about that, about what was between the paper, and the time you say the officer saw you in the stall?
She asked me in the class, and I think I went somewhere. I don't know if I was in the room in the hall.
Did you get up and leave the class, or was the class over? Did the bell ring?
The bell rung. I think I went to my second period.
Okay.
I think,
Okay.
I got paranoid, and she looked at me, and I thought I started whispering on the students about how I was trying to, she's like thinking to detain me. And like I don't know, they were just gonna do stuff to me, and at that point I kind of just went out the classroom.
Right.
I of course, it was so bad. I told her I was gonna go to my counselor here, my crisis counselor, but in the last fucking minute, like I just completely just went.
Okay, so
I'm not using the fogginess. I'm not using it as a way to justify any of this. This is horrible, but
I don't think you are, Colt. I don't think you are.
Next thing I knew, I was flying paper pencils. This is fucking great. I'm fucking go purple.
Well, help me understand how we get there, okay? So you go into the bathroom.
Okay.
What did you go into the bathroom for?
I went to the bathroom, and I can't remember really any of it. All I know was that I guess it was a way to get ready. I don't know. Okay. But they told me all the student shit, like taking gloves and fucking, I had a hat and my belt and everything. It's fucking horrible.
So you went in there, did you use the restroom while you were in there?
No, sir.
No, okay. So
this is fucked up.
You think you went in there to get ready?
Yes, sir. I assume so. That's what they've been wanting to do for so long.
Okay.
I thought about killing myself so much. I think I went in there and it's mixed up with premeditation so much, but I promise I'm not like that.
Help me understand what you mean by premeditation.
Like, it's so often, I guess, like, you see school shooter and you think premeditated, like, messed up in the head individual. That's not me. I love this school. I was never bullied. I love it.
You were never bullied?
Yeah, but in these the short time that I've been here, like a month, but I just got every single time I just got words over and over about the facility and the teachers being in on it, trying to hurt me. And the students. I just went to the bathroom. I guess I would assume I just got ready. I don't know.
Help me understand how you got ready.
I guess just putting gloves on.
Okay, so you put gloves on. What kind of gloves did you put on?
I think they're out there. I don't know. I think they're purple. I can't remember.
Like the little rubber ones? Like the little thin ones?
No, I don't. I think so. Maybe I think they were purplish, like purplish. They were fully purplish. I know.
Okay.
I think.
So you put gloves on. Why did you put gloves on?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. If I could only assume the words, it was because they thought it would. I don't know.
It's okay if you don't know.
It was almost as if I wanted. Deep down within, I wanted to shield myself somewhere. I hated me, like my hands being me, the one that pulled the trigger. And but I know then it was probably just, I don't know, just gloves, I guess. I don't know what.
So you think maybe it was to kind of separate you from the gun? Is that what you're trying to say?
I guess so. That's me with just. Like, how did, like, deep down, from that moment, I just walked in, I was no consciousness of how horrible and how fucked up it was I was about to do.
Did you do anything else to get ready?
No, but I know I stood in there for a while. It was, oh my God, it was, I wanted, like, I just kept getting glimmers of just, like,
Now, earlier you mentioned a hat and a vest.
The vest, it was an airsoft vest and it's at my house.
Okay, you didn't bring it?
No, sir. I knew that part of me was just like, no, that's fucked up. Like,
Did you put on a hat or anything?
No.
Okay, you just put the gloves on?
Yeah, it was just like, I wanted, like, it was almost like I was trying to delude myself into my normal self. Like, it's okay, it's just a normal school day. These things aren't real, you're not gonna do anything. Nothing's gonna happen. But you really fucking are.
So when, how long do you think, or do you know, how long you were in the bathroom before the officer came in?
I wouldn't know. I guess y'all could pinpoint that.
Yeah, okay, that's okay.
I'm sorry.
Do you feel like it was a short time or a long time?
I feel like I know, like I said, I had these glimmers of like, I shouldn't do this, and it must have been a while. I knew like cop came in, and I was hoping that.
Okay.
They could save me.
Did the police officer say anything to you when he came in?
No, he was just asking the other kids in there if they were Colt Gray. I guess he got my name mixed up with Colt, but it's just Colt.
So he asked other kids if you were Colt?
Yeah, and I think he could, I don't know, oh my God. I think he told them that we were trying to find him. Because I've been whispering stuff, but I couldn't make out what it was after he said the main thing, but I know that was maybe a way to shield me from what they were actually trying to do.
So I'm assuming you were in a bathroom stall.
I guess so, yeah.
Did you have, and I'm assuming you had the door shut, is that correct?
I can't remember.
It's okay if you can't. So what happened after the officer asked for Colt Gray?
I don't know. He just walked out.
Okay.
And I know he mentioned something along the lines of, but today's the day that they were going to try to get me in and like alter brainwaves and stuff in this place. So the officer, he was talking about how the teachers and them had all what it had been formalized and stuff. This is what they were going to do.
So when did the officer leave? Or did he leave the bathroom?
I think he left, obviously, because I think he would have stopped me when I walked out.
Okay.
Because all of it's just such a blur. I just remember it's waking up and having an officer on my hands.
So what made you come out of the bathroom?
I was scared. That was at that point, I guess, was just completely out of my control. It was like I wasn't even there. It was trying to pinpoint just decentralization or just complete blackout. Like,
Was there anybody in the bathroom when you walked out? Do you remember?
I can't remember. I'm sorry. I don't know. I assumed he was talking to kids, so I assumed there were people in there.
Okay, so help me understand. You come out of the bathroom and you have your gloves on, and are you carrying anything else?
I don't think so. I guess it was the gun because I looked back and that was all I saw on the floor.
Okay, you mentioned to me earlier that your book bag was still in the bathroom.
Yes, sir. Probably
You think so?
It's still in there.
Okay, so you come out with your gloves and the gun, and then what's the next thing that happens?
At that point, it's just completely blacked out. I have few glimpses of I guess it's just the race and I have to respond to such traumatic and fucking horrible shit like this. I remember the smell of gunpowder. My shoe came off. And then I remember just being on the ground and the officer coming me.
So you come out, you said you have a few glimpses, right?
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell me about those glimpses that you see?
Just mainly smell, just the gunpowder, obviously.
Smell the gunpowder.
And probably smoke. It's even worse because it's formulated into like such a horrible obsession I've grown with Nicholas Cruz. He's a shooter.
Who's Nicholas Cruz?
He's a goal shooter, but it's not in a weird way, like glorifying, because like the last I've had that morality was mostly just complete delusion.
Why did you mention, I didn't understand, why did you mention Nicholas Cruz?
Just because I guess I could understand emotional aspects, and it was really mutual. I didn't let it take over too much, at least from what I can remember. But I don't know.
You said it was mutual what?
It was mutual in a way that I didn't let it affect me emotionally. It's like I didn't do this because of him or something. But I know the voices from the least on him, and they gathered like info, and my teachers were finding out everything.
So you told me earlier when I said that you shot some people.
I think so. I don't know. I hope nobody's heard. I forgot. I didn't even know if my sight or anything was on or it was working. I just I would assume, I know me just aimlessly firing. It's just like, I remember it's just gunshots. I can't tell for sure.
Okay.
I know for sure. I don't think I was targeting people. I think it was more just.
Do you remember where you were? What room you were in when you were shooting?
I remember just.
Was it a classroom or a hallway or something else?
Oh my god, dude. I think it might have been a class. I don't know. Everything else is just blurry.
It was a classroom?
Yeah, you know, I could probably.
So you said you just walked around aimlessly shooting? Is that what you said?
Yeah, pretty much. I wanted me to do anything to get these people away from me, the teachers and the people who were altering stuff for me. I didn't like it.
So you walked around, and when you were aimlessly shooting, were you shooting at people? Or
I guess. I don't know. It's hard to tell if I was aiming for anything specifically or not. I'd assume so because I didn't just look into. Maybe, I guess just when you see people, like, when you do some shit like that, I guess they would want me to do something like that. This is the way to know them that, to be scared of me, I don't know.
Okay.
Not the victims or anything like that. It was just wanting the teachers and stuff in the building, which I know is real. There's still.
No, you keep saying victims and that you shot people.
Yeah, I do. I look
more than one.
I look back a few times and I saw good money. They got it back over him. Oh my god.
So you looked back.
I looked back when they had me on the floor. I was fucking throw up. That is so horrible. I think they did it, the police. Those fucking parents are ever gonna, oh my god. I'm so.
Your Honor, can we have a few minutes?
Okay. Take about a 5-minute recess.
Thank you.
John, you can.
Yes, yes.
We're incredibly grateful for every single one of our subscribers. Whether you just discovered at Truth Talks Live or you've been a day one truth teller, we see you, and we're proud to show up for you every day. But here's the reality. Independent media is under attack. We're committed to bringing you real voices, real perspectives, and a truly multicultural lens on world news. And that mission comes at a cost. Over 300,000 viewers tune in daily. And now, we're asking you to take the next step with us. If every viewer gave just $1 through Cash App, Zelle, or PayPal, it would keep our engine running strong and allow us to continue delivering facts, not fiction. So here's the challenge. Support what you believe in. Tap the Cash App symbol or become a paid member today. And from all of us, thank you.